Hey, what's going on, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about the Roth IRA, and IRA part stands for individual retirement account. So before I go into explaining that, first off, if you're new to the channel, please do like, comment if you have any questions, and subscribe and hit the little notification bell so you're informed every time I upload a new video. My channel is mostly about personal finance, credit card hacks, travel hacks. Yeah, that's about it, and some miscellaneous things as well. But back to the video. All right, anyways, so a Roth IRA is basically a retirement account that you put you contribute to every year, and the max that you can contribute to. In 2018 it was $5,500, but they just increased it to $6,000 a year, and that's how much you can contribute annually to that retirement account. And that $55,000, or actually $6,000 now, is your post-tax money. So let's just say, for example, you're making $20,000 a year. After all your taxes are taken out, you're making $17,000. So your $17,000 is your post-tax money. So you can put up to $17,000 because the limit is obviously $6,000. But also, for example, let's say you're someone that's young and you're only making $5,000 a year. You cannot put $6,000 because you're not making $6,000. So, and the maximum for a single filer is $135,000. So if you're making $135,000 or more, well, more than $135,000, you cannot have a Roth IRA. And for people who are married and they're filing taxes jointly with their spouse, the limit, I believe, is anywhere from $195,000 to like $230,000. There's like a little restriction, something with that really determines how much you can put. But the max, I believe, let me just see if I can look it up real quick. Yeah, I believe for a married couple it is $193,000. But anyways, so let me tell you why the Roth IRA is so powerful. The Roth IRA is so powerful because of the compound interest. The compound interest, okay, let me just put it for example. Let's say someone is 18 years old and they want to open a Roth IRA. So they open a Roth IRA and they put in $1,000 a year until they're 59 and a half, or let's just say 60 years old. Because after 59 and a half, you can take out your money and you don't get any penalty on your money. But whatever you do contribute, let's say you contribute $1,000 this year, and 3 years later you want to take that $1,000 out, you don't get any penalties or any fees on that because that was already taxed. So you don't have to pay anything on that. But your profits, let's say that $1,000 in your 5 years, it made $500. You can't take that $500 out. You could, but it will be taxed, and you will have to probably pay a penalty. So let's say you're 18 years old and you work a job and you make at least $1,000. So let's say you open your Roth IRA at 18 years old and you contribute $1,000 until you're 60 years old. So for the next 42 years, you contributed $1,000. So your total contribution is $42,000. So let's say $42,000, you get a rate of return of 7%, because that's about what the S&P 500 is averaging over the last 10 years, and it's projected to average about 7% for the next 10 years as well. So with that, you would get a total of, oh, by the way, I also took out 2% for inflation, just to keep up with inflation. So instead of 5%, I'm putting the expected return as, instead of 7%, I'm putting the expected rate of return as 5%. So if you were averaging 5% and you only put in $1,000 until you were 60 years old, your $42,000 would turn into $141,000 $993. So you basically made $100,000 in profit that you're not paying taxes on once you turn 60 years old. So that's just money for you to play with once you get to that age. Yeah, this should be like, you should kind of think of it as like a bank account, because now let's say, for example, the first 5 years you put in $5,000, $1,000 each year, and now all of a sudden you need $5,000. You can take out that original $5,000 without any penalties at all, and now all that profit that you made, it's still in that account. So this is a great way for young people to really get like a really good base for their future, like a really good retirement setup. And now let me give you also an example. Let's say it's really important for you to do it as soon as possible, because now let's say that same person, instead of doing it at age 18, they did it at age 19. Now they're with that, everything is the same, except instead of 42 years that they're putting in money, they're putting it only in for 41 years because they started at 19. So your total would be 134,232 versus basically 142,000 versus 134,000. So that's a $8,000 difference in compounded interest. Because of compounded interest, that's a $8,000 difference that you have in your retirement account. So to you young people out there, I would suggest start as soon as possible. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. And also there's one more exemption that you can take out money, even your profits, that is to buy a house. If you're a first-time home buyer, you can take up to, I believe, $10,000 to make a down payment or something like that, or pay like closing costs, whatever it is, without being taxed, even on your profits. Yeah, that's about it. And my most recommended place to open up a Roth IRA is either Vanguard or Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab has $5 fees, and then Vanguard has $7 fee per share. I mean, not per share, I'm sorry, I meant per trade. Vanguard is really good because it has a lot of like mutual funds, and you don't get charged the transaction fee, the $7 trade fee for Vanguard, because it's Vanguard if you're buying it their own. And then Charles Schwab also has some really good ones, so I'd recommend one of those two. But yeah, that's about it. So this video helps you. If you guys have any questions, I know it was a little bit confusing the way I explained it, but if you guys do have any questions, please don't hesitate to comment, and I'll answer them for you as soon as possible. Thanks. I'll see you guys next time.